Have women ever faced discrimination in the United States of America? Yes. Women have been locked into rigid sex roles which fostered women into being stereotyped as homemakers, caregivers, and nurturers. This led to double standards which resulted in discrimination in such places as the workplace, education, and finances. Men have also faced rigid sex roles which led men to being stereotyped as providers and protectors. This led to double standards which resulted in discrimination in such places as deaths in wartime, deaths in dangerous occupations, and being valued only for providing, and the resulting disregard in the tender areas of home and hearth. So both men and women have faced discrimination in our culture due to their rigid sex roles and stereotypes. We've spent several decades working on freeing women from their stereotypes and rigid roles, but have yet to begin the task for men. But that's another story. This video asks a simple question. Have women ever been oppressed in the United States of America? We know that they face discrimination just as our men have faced discrimination, but it's common to hear in the media and academia that women have been oppressed. Are these claims true, or are they simply tall tale exaggerations? What is this thing called oppression? Let's look at a few examples. Usually, when you see oppression, there's a lot of death, a lot of starvation, a lot of genocide. There's a lot of problems. You can see here people are chained. That's probably oppression. People are being starved. That's probably oppression. People are being beaten, chained, and starved. That's probably oppression. Big, big problems. Let's back up just a minute here and have a look at things. We see what oppression is, but I mean really, is this oppression equal to this? No way. And is this oppression equal to this? No way. Is this oppression equal to this? No way. That's called stretching the truth, and the truth can only be stretched so far before it snaps. What becomes very clear is that discrimination is not the same thing as oppression. One of the places that the truth is being stretched is in women's studies departments on our college campuses. The list you see scrolling in the background are the 65 references to women's oppression from a popular women's studies textbook. Over and over, the book makes the claim that women were oppressed. Why would they make such a claim? Seems like a huge exaggeration to me. Not only does it miss the mark, it also does something else that's very, very damaging. It blames men for the oppression. Yes, it blames men, not evil men, not men in power, but all men. Even masculinity itself is blamed. Blaming a birth group for such a horrid and global act seems hateful and way off the mark. But let's back up just a minute and take a look at what the sources are of real oppression. I mean, where does it come from? When you look for the source of oppression, you're guaranteed to find very concentrated evil. People like Idi Amin, people like Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler, and Pol Pot. Together, these oppressors were responsible for over 35 million deaths. That's a lot of problems. Let's back up just a minute here and have a look at things. Are they saying that this sort of evil equals this? No way. Are they saying that this sort of evil equals this? No way. Are they saying that this sort of evil equals this? No way. The lumping together of all men as being evil oppressors is horrible stereotyping. If the same sort of thing was done to blacks, it would be called racism. If the same thing was done to all women, it'd be called sexism. But when it's done to men, it's called women's studies. This negative labeling of men as oppressors is the cornerstone of male bashing and needs to be challenged at every step. We've held women in high esteem for 40 years, while we simultaneously painted our men as oppressors. We've held women up as we've torn our men down. It's time we hold both women and men in high esteem, because the bottom line is men are far from oppressors. Men are good.